Hello guys. The unraveling truth, when protective silence becomes deadly deception. The picturesque facade of the Quartermain mansion has become the epicenter of a psychological thriller that threatens to tear apart the bonds of family and friendship. What began as a series of seemingly innocent incidents surrounding baby Daisy has evolved into a complex web of deception, mental breakdown, and dangerous obsession that strikes at the heart of Port Charles' most prominent families. The calm before the storm. In the aftermath of one of the most contentious custody battles in Port Charles history, the Quartermain estate should have been a sanctuary of peace for new mother Sasha Corbin and her infant daughter Daisy. Instead, it has become a stage for escalating psychological warfare that threatens the safety of everyone within its walls. Sasha's maternal instincts have been screaming warnings that something is fundamentally wrong. The incidents began subtly enough: a mobile mysteriously spinning above Daisy's crib, the baby found facing the opposite direction from where she had been placed, dressed in completely different clothing. These seemingly minor disturbances have created an atmosphere of perpetual anxiety that has transformed what should be the most joyful time in Sasha's life into a waking nightmare. The former face of deception model, who has endured more than her fair share of trauma and loss, recognizes the signs of manipulation and gaslighting. Her past experiences with mental health challenges and addiction have made her acutely aware of the difference between paranoia and genuine threat assessment. This time, she is certain that the danger is real and external, not a product of her own psychological state. The shocking revelation. The truth behind the strange occurrences has proven to be far more disturbing than even Sasha's worst fears could have imagined. In a dramatic revelation that has left viewers stunned, Willow Tate Corinthos has been exposed as the person responsible for terrorizing Sasha and her newborn daughter. The revelation came through a chilling flashback sequence that showed Willow lifting Daisy from her crib while whispering ominous words about showing Michael and Sasha how it feels to have your child taken from you. This shocking twist represents a complete psychological breakdown for Willow, who has been spiraling since losing custody of her children Wiley and Amelia to Michael in what was described as a devastating court ruling. The judge's decision was based on compelling evidence that demonstrated Willow's pattern of negligent behavior, including moving the children between homes multiple times, transporting them across state lines without permission, and failing to facilitate contact between the children and their father during his recovery. The custody battle's outcome has served as the catalyst for Willow's descent into what can only be described as a dangerous obsession. Her actions reveal a mind that has snapped under the pressure of loss and humiliation, leading her to target the most vulnerable member of the Quartermain household as a means of exacting revenge against those she blames for her circumstances. The protective lie that binds. Central to this explosive storyline is Michael Corinthos' agonizing moral dilemma regarding his knowledge of Willow's actions. As the father of baby Daisy and Sasha's former lover, Michael finds himself caught between his protective instincts and his desire to shield Willow from the consequences of her mental breakdown. Michael's decision to remain silent about Willow's identity as the stalker represents a complex calculation of competing loyalties and responsibilities. His relationship with Willow, despite their acrimonious divorce and custody battle, is complicated by their shared history and the children they have together. The revelation that he has been aware of Willow's actions while allowing Sasha to suffer in fear and uncertainty adds another layer of betrayal to an already volatile situation. This protective silence has created a dangerous dynamic where Michael believes he can manage the situation without exposing Willow to legal consequences or further psychological damage. His decision to keep the truth from Sasha, even as she becomes increasingly desperate and fearful for her daughter's safety, represents a fundamental breach of trust that threatens to destroy their relationship and put both mother and child at risk. The escalating threat. The psychological games that began with simple object manipulation have escalated into increasingly bold and dangerous acts. The most terrifying incident occurred when Sasha discovered Daisy's crib empty, sending her into a panic that she had lost another child to circumstances beyond her control. The baby was later found in a different location within the mansion, but the incident served as a clear escalation in Willow's campaign of psychological terrorism. Security footage and witness accounts have revealed the extent of Willow's access to the Quartermain estate and her ability to move freely within the property. Her knowledge of the mansion's layout, combined with her nursing background and previous close relationship with the family, has given her unprecedented access to areas that should have been secure. The targeting of baby Daisy represents more than simple revenge. It reveals a deeply disturbed individual who has lost all sense of boundaries and appropriate behavior. Mental health experts who have analyzed Willow's behavior patterns suggest that she may be experiencing dissociative episodes or a complete break from reality. The fact that she appears to believe her actions are justified adds an element of unpredictability that makes her extremely dangerous. The impossible choice. Sasha's response to the escalating threat has been both predictable and heartbreaking. Having already lost one child to tragic circumstances, she has made the difficult decision that the only way to protect Daisy is to leave Port Charles entirely. This decision represents the ultimate victory for Willow's campaign of terror, as it achieves the goal of separating Michael from his daughter while simultaneously punishing Sasha for her relationship with him. The prospect of Sasha's departure has created a crisis for Michael, who now faces the possibility of losing his newborn daughter just as he has fought so hard to maintain custody of his other children. The irony is not lost on observers that Michael's attempts to protect Willow may ultimately cost him the opportunity to be a father to Daisy, while also destroying his relationship with Sasha. Michael's insistence that he can increase security and make the mansion safe rings hollow in the face of the intimate nature of the threat. The enemy is not some external force that can be kept at bay with guards and cameras. It is someone who has been welcomed into the family circle and trusted with the most precious secrets. This betrayal of trust makes traditional security measures largely ineffective. The reckoning approaches. The revelation of Willow's identity as the stalker has set the stage for a confrontation that will determine the fate of multiple families within Port Charles. Sasha's discovery of the truth promises to be explosive, particularly when she learns that Michael has been aware of Willow's actions while allowing her to suffer in fear and uncertainty. The psychological impact of this betrayal cannot be overstated. Sasha, who has placed her trust in Michael and believed in his commitment to protecting both her and their daughter, will be forced to confront the reality that he has prioritized his desire to protect Willow over their safety and well-being. This revelation threatens to shatter any remaining foundation of trust between them and make her departure from Port Charles not just a matter of safety, but of emotional survival. The confrontation between Sasha and Michael promises to be one of the most emotionally charged sequences in recent General Hospital history. Both characters have legitimate grievances and understandable motivations, but their conflicting priorities have created an impossible situation that may have no satisfactory resolution. The broader implications. The Daisy Stalker storyline has broader implications for the Port Charles community and the relationships that define it. The revelation that Willow, once viewed as a stable and trustworthy member of the community, has become a dangerous threat to innocent children challenges fundamental assumptions about trust and safety within the town's social fabric. The incident has also highlighted the inadequacy of mental health resources and intervention systems within Port Charles. Willow's obvious psychological breakdown has been visible to multiple community members, yet no effective intervention has been implemented to address her deteriorating condition. The failure to recognize and respond to the warning signs has contributed to the escalation of the situation to dangerous levels. The legal implications of Willow's actions are significant, as her behavior constitutes criminal stalking and potentially kidnapping. The decision of whether to pursue criminal charges will force the community to confront difficult questions about accountability, mental health, and the balance between compassion and justice. Next, we will dive deep into the swirling drama surrounding Jocelyn Jack's evolving storyline, the controversial decision to write off Dex Heller, and the murky waters of her new connections in Port Charles. Buckle up for an in-depth exploration of love, loss, espionage, and hidden agendas as we unpack the latest twists and turns on General Hospital. With new details and creative insights, let's journey through the emotional roller coaster of Jocelyn's life and the decisions that have left fans buzzing with excitement and frustration. The heartbreaking exit of Dex Heller, a misstep by the writers. The sudden and tragic departure of Dex Heller from the General Hospital canvas has sent shockwaves through the fanbase, igniting debates about whether this was a fatal error in storytelling. Dex, who once held Jocelyn Jack's heart in a vice-like grip of passion and devotion, met an untimely end that many viewers still struggle to accept. Their romance was a cornerstone of recent seasons, blossoming amidst danger and family feuds, a beacon of young love in the often tumultuous world of Port Charles. Yet, in a blink, Dex was gone, seemingly sacrificed to steer Jocelyn toward an entirely new path with the World Security Bureau WSB. Was this a calculated move to refresh her character arc, or a grievous miscalculation that stripped away a beloved dynamic? Fans are torn. Some mourn the loss of a character who brought depth and grit to Jocelyn's life, while others ponder if his death was the only way to push her into uncharted territory. What's undeniable is the void left behind, a lingering ache that no new storyline has yet fully soothed. Adding to the speculation, whispers in online forums suggest Dex's exit might not be as permanent as it seems. Could the writers have a secret plan up their sleeves to resurrect him, perhaps as a mysterious operative with a hidden agenda? Imagine the drama if Dex were to return scarred but alive, just as Jocelyn begins to find her footing in her new life. Until such a twist unfolds, the question remains, did the show's creators underestimate the impact of Dex and Jocelyn's electric chemistry when they decided to sever their bond so brutally? Jocelyn's new path, from grief to spy games with the WSB. In the wake of Dex's devastating demise, Jocelyn Jax has undergone a dramatic transformation, trading her dreams of healing bodies as a doctor for the high-stakes world of espionage. Once a dedicated student at Port Charles University PCU, her ambition to save lives in a hospital ward crumbled under the weight of her heartbreak. Instead, she's embraced a covert role with the WSB, a decision that seems both fueled by her thirst for justice and a desperate need to fill the emptiness Dex's death left behind. This pivot to becoming a spy wasn't just a career change, it was a lifeline, a way for Jocelyn to channel her grief into action. Yet, her rapid transition raises eyebrows. So does one leap from dissecting textbooks to decoding enemy plans overnight? Her recruitment into this shadowy organization is shrouded in intrigue, orchestrated by none other than Jack Brennan, a figure whose influence over Jocelyn's mother, Carly Spencer, is already a point of contention in Port Charles. The whispers around town suggest Brennan saw in Jocelyn a raw and tame, potentially young woman driven by loss and a fierce desire to right wrongs. But at what cost? Her new mission-driven lifestyle has given her purpose, but it's also distanced her from the innocence of her past pursuits. Fans are split on this bold new direction. Some applaud the complexity it adds to her character, seeing her as a modern-day heroine, while others lament the loss of the softer, more relatable Jocelyn who once balanced love and ambition with ease. Will this path of danger and deception ultimately heal her wounds, or lead her into a darker abyss? A tangled web, Carly, Brennan, and family secrets. As Jocelyn navigates her clandestine world, a storm brews on the horizon involving her mother, Carly Spencer, and the enigmatic Jack Brennan. Carly, known for her fierce loyalty and stubborn heart, has ignored every warning from friends and family about Brennan's questionable motives. Their romance, intense and often reckless, blinds her to the possibility that he's pulling strings behind the set of strings that directly tie to Jocelyn's new life as a WSB agent. The idea that Brennan personally recruited Carly's daughter for dangerous missions is a ticking time bomb waiting to detonate. When Carly inevitably uncovers this secret, the fallout could shatter their relationship, exposing cracks in trust that even her legendary resilience might not mend. Imagine the scene, a heated confrontation at the Metro Court, Carly's voice trembling with betrayal as she demands answers from Brennan about why he dragged her daughter into such peril. Will Brennan's charm and cryptic justifications hold up under her scrutiny, or will this revelation be the final straw that drives a wedge between them for good? Furthermore, could this be the writer's long game, a carefully crafted setup to dismantle Carly and Brennan's bond, paving the way for new romantic entanglements or a return to classic Carly chaos? The stakes are personal, and the drama promises to be explosive as family ties clash with hidden agendas. Vaughn, a replacement romance or a deceptive distraction? Enter Vaughn, Jocelyn's new partner in both crime-fighting and, apparently, romance, a character who has stepped into the void left by Dex but struggles to fill his shoes. Their connection, born amidst covert operations and shared missions for the WSB, lacks the raw, organic passion that defined Jocelyn and Dex's relationship. Vaughn's arrival was meant to inject fresh energy into Jocelyn's arc, but his calculated charm and questionable sincerity leave fans skeptical. Is he truly drawn to her, or is every stolen kiss and whispered confidence just another layer of their undercover ruse? Their interactions, from steamy moments at the Metro Court pool to tense exchanges in shadowy offices, feel like a performance part of a larger scheme to deceive others. including the cunning Emma Scorpio Drake. One particularly jarring moment came during a conversation at the pool, where Vaughn spun a fabricated tale about a childhood dog succumbing to cancer. Ally crafted to make a point but delivered with unsettling ease. If he can lie so effortlessly, what else might he be hiding? Jocelyn, still raw from her loss, shared her burning ambition to bring down mob boss Sonny Corinthos, only for Vaughn to respond with a sudden, intense kiss. Was it a genuine moment of connection, or a calculated move to bind her closer to him for WSB purposes? Their staged relationship, complete with fake breakups to manipulate trust, further blurs the line between reality and pretense. Fans can't help but compare Vaughn unfavorably to Dex, whose sincerity and depth made every interaction with Jocelyn feel authentic. Vaughn may be a temporary flame, but can he ever ignite the same fire in Jocelyn's heart? Uncovering hidden motives, the mystery of Professor Dalton, and WSB interests. Jocelyn's current mission under the WSB umbrella involves working alongside the dubious Professor Henry Dalton, a figure whose unethical research practices have drawn her into a moral quagmire. Initially, she took a research position coveted by Emma Scorpio Drake to expose Dalton's alleged animal testing, a cause she believes in fiercely. But as she delves deeper, questions arise about what the WSB, and by extension Brennan, truly want from Dalton's work. Is it purely about justice, or are there classified experiments or data that the agency seeks to control for their own shadowy purposes? Jocelyn finds herself caught between her personal ethics and the larger objectives of her handlers, a conflict that adds layers of tension to her already complicated life. Dalton himself is a character of contradictions, friendly yet cold, charming yet sinister. Picture late-night encounters in his lab, where Jocelyn, under the guise of a dedicated assistant, sifts through files while Vaughn distracts him with fabricated banter. Every discovery pulls her deeper into a web of scientific intrigue and potential danger. What if Dalton's research holds secrets that could endanger not just animals, but entire communities in Port Charles? The uncertainty keeps viewers on edge, wondering if Jocelyn's quest for justice will uncover truths too big for her to handle alone. The fans speak, nostalgia for Dex, and doubts about Vaughn. Across social media and fan discussions, one sentiment echoes loudly: Vaughn, for all his brooding intensity, cannot replicate the magic Dex shared with Jocelyn. Their chemistry was effortless, a dance of danger and tenderness that captivated audiences. Vaughn, by contrast, feels like a placeholder, a character engineered to keep Jocelyn's romantic subplot alive while the writers explore her spy narrative. Fans reminisce about Dex's protective nature, his quiet strength, and the way he grounded Jocelyn even as their world spiraled into chaos. Vaughn's ambiguous motives and slick demeanor pale in comparison, leaving many to wonder if the writers missed the mark by trying to force a new love interest so soon after such a profound loss. Yet, some viewers hold out hope that Vaughn's story will evolve, revealing hidden depths or a genuine connection with Jocelyn over time. Perhaps shared near-death experiences on WSB missions will forge a bond neither expected. For now, though, the consensus leans toward nostalgia, with hashtags like #BringBackDex trending as a plea for closure or a miraculous return. Could the writers be listening, or are they committed to pushing Jocelyn into this new and certain romance? Next, we will delve into the gripping underworld drama of Port Charles as we uncover the latest twists involving Selena Wu, Sonny Corinthos, and the ruthless Jen Sidwell. Prepare for an extensive exploration of alliances, betrayals, and calculated power plays that keep the heart of this soap opera beating with suspense. With fresh details, inventive additions, and reimagined perspectives, let's navigate the dangerous streets of Port Charles to see how these mob titans maneuver through traps and treachery. Selena Wu down but not out in the mob game. Even as Jen Sidwell's cunning schemes force Selena Wu to flee the familiar turf of Port Charles, don't be fooled into thinking this fierce mob matriarch is out of the game for good. Distance means little in the world of organized crime, and Selena remains just a secretive phone call away from her longtime ally, Sonny Corinthos. Her sudden exit, orchestrated by Sidwell's devious setup, might have physically removed her from the city's dark underbelly, but her influence lingers like a shadow over the ongoing power struggles. Rumor has it she's holed up in a discreet coastal hideout, surrounded by loyal enforcers, plotting her next move with the precision of a chess grandmaster. Selena's knack for survival is legendary, and fans speculate she's already crafting a plan to reclaim her territory, using encrypted burner phones to stay connected with key players like Sunny. Her absence is merely a pause, a strategic retreat before an inevitable storm of retribution. What makes Selena's return a tantalizing prospect is her unyielding resolve. Imagine her, in a dimly lit safe house, poring over maps of Port Charles, her sharp mind dissecting every move Sidwell has made in her absence. This isn't just about reclaiming power, it's personal. Sidwell crossed a line by framing her, and in the mob world, such betrayals are paid for in blood or cunning. Will Selena strike from the shadows before anyone even knows she's back? Her past proves she's capable of turning the tables when least expected, and viewers are on edge waiting to see how she'll outsmart her latest adversary. A bond forged in fire, Sunny and Selena's history of trust. The alliance between Sunny Corinthos and Selena Wu isn't a fleeting partnership but a bond forged through years of navigating the treacherous landscape of Port Charles' criminal hierarchy. Long before the once powerful five families were whittled down to just their two dominant factions, Sunny and Selena found common ground in mutual survival and respect. Their history runs deep, marked by moments of critical cooperation that saved lives and shifted power dynamics. One such pivotal event was Selena's timely warning to Jason Morgan about a deadly car bomb intended for Jason and Carly Spencer during their almost wedding. A plot targeting Sunny's family interests while he was presumed lost in Nixon Falls. Thanks to Selena's intel, the trap was turned on the rival mobsters, their vehicle exploding in a fiery spectacle of poetic justice. This wasn't a one-off favor but a testament to a relationship built on calculated trust. Picture the clandestine meetings in smoky backrooms, where Selena and Sunny exchanged coded messages and shared intel on mutual enemies. Their dynamic isn't just business, it's a rare camaraderie in a world where betrayal is the norm. Now, with Selena out of sight but not out of mind, fans wonder if her next tip-off to Sunny will be the key to dismantling Sidwell's growing empire. Perhaps she's already uncovered dirt on Sidwell's operations from afar, ready to deliver a bombshell update that could tip the scales. Their history suggests that when these two unite, no foe stands a chance for long. Sidwell's deceptive flames, framing Selena and targeting Sunny. Jen Sidwell has emerged as a formidable threat, his manipulative tactics painting him as a master of chaos in Port Charles' underworld. Both Sunny and Jason Morgan are convinced that Sidwell is the puppet master behind a series of destructive acts, including the torching of Charlie's pub, a brutal job meant to frame Selena by pinning the blame onto of her supposed loyalists. The method was deliberately altered from other attacks to cast suspicion on her crew, a clever ruse to drive a wedge between allies. Furthermore, they suspect Sidwell's hand in the devastating explosion at Sunny's penthouse, a strike that nearly claimed Michael Corinthos' life. Evidence points to a hitman hired for the job, but with the assassin now silenced permanently, concrete proof linking Sidwell to the crime remains frustratingly out of reach. Sidwell's audacity doesn't stop at violence, he's also made a brazen play for Sunny's territory, attempting to persuade him to relinquish control of the lucrative piers under the guise of a legitimate development project. Sources whisper that Sidwell is entangled with Drew Kane and Ezra Boyle in a scheme involving the Esplanade, using this as a flimsy cover for his true intentions of expanding his criminal reach. Sunny and Jason, seasoned in the art of deception, see through the facade, recognizing Sidwell's hunger for power masked as corporate interest. Imagine the tense standoffs at waterfront warehouses, where Sidwell's smooth-talking representatives pitch their legal proposals while Sunny's piercing gaze cuts through the lies. The question looms, how long before Sidwell's web of deceit unravels under the scrutiny of Port Charles' most seasoned mobsters? The unseen war, Sidwell's broader ambitions exposed. Beyond immediate conflicts, Sidwell's ambitions seem to stretch far wider than mere territorial grabs or framing rivals like Selena. His alliance with figures like Drew Kane hints at a deeper, more intricate plot to reshape Port Charles' power structure entirely. Rumors circulate that the Esplanade project is a front for laundering money on a massive scale, with the piers serving as a gateway for illicit shipments under the cover of urban redevelopment. Sunny and Jason have caught wind of late-night meetings at upscale hotels, where Sidwell and his associates discuss plans that could destabilize the entire town's economy if left unchecked. Every move Sidwell makes is layered with misdirection, designed to keep his true goals obscured even as he tightens his grip. Adding to the intrigue, There are whispers of Sidwell's connections reaching beyond local players to international crime syndicates, potentially bringing a new wave of danger to Port Charles. Could he be positioning himself as a broker between global underworld forces and local operations, using Sonny's peers as a bargaining chip? This broader scope raises the stakes, turning a personal vendetta into a battle with far-reaching consequences. Fans are left guessing, is Sidwell merely a ruthless opportunist, or does he represent a darker, more organized threat than Sonny and Selena have ever faced before? Selena's triumphant return, a united front against Sidwell. The day Selena Wu strides back into Port Charles, the balance of power is sure to shift dramatically, and Jen Sidwell won't see it coming. Her return promises to be a spectacle of calculated vengeance, as she reunites with Sonny to form an unstoppable alliance against their common enemy. Together with Jason and the ever-reliable Brick, they're poised to orchestrate Sidwell's downfall with ruthless efficiency. The plan might involve turning Sidwell's own tactics against him, framing him for a crime, and a delicious twist of irony if hard evidence remains elusive. Picture the covert strategy sessions in hidden safe houses, where maps are marked and burner phones buzz with coded orders, each player in this deadly game moving with precision. Yet, the path to victory isn't without risk. Opting for mob justice over legal channels could mean making Sidwell vanish without a trace, a tempting solution but one fraught with potential backlash. A mysterious disappearance might draw unwanted attention from the Port Charles Police Department (PCPD), or worse, provoke Sidwell's unseen allies to retaliate. Alternatively, if Sonny and Selena uncover damning proof of his misdeeds, perhaps through intercepted shipments at the piers, they could expose him publicly, dismantling his empire without firing a shot. Either route promises high drama, with late-night stakeouts and double crosses keeping viewers glued to their screens. One thing is clear, Sidwell's reign of terror will end, leaving Port Charles safer from a villain far more sinister than either Sonny or Selena could ever be. The moral gray zone, mob justice versus legal reckoning. As Sonny, Selena, and their crew plot their next moves, a moral quandary hangs over their decision. Should they pursue justice within the bounds of the law, potentially earning goodwill with the PCPD, or resort to the brutal, swift methods of mob retribution? The legal path could involve leaking evidence to sympathetic contacts within law enforcement, allowing Sidwell to be prosecuted and his operations dismantled publicly. Such a move might paint Sonny and Selena in a rare, favorable light, but it risks exposing their own illicit dealings in the process. Imagine the tension of handing over intel at a discreet diner meeting, knowing one wrong move could turn the tables against them. On the other hand, mob justice offers a cleaner, albeit darker resolution. A quiet disappearance for Sidwell ensures no loose ends, but the shadows of such an act could haunt even the hardest of hearts in Port Charles. What if whispers of their involvement spread, igniting feuds with other factions or drawing federal scrutiny to the town? Fans are split on which path feels truer to the essence of these characters. Should they rise above their violent roots for the greater good, or embrace the very darkness that defines their world? The choice will shape not just Sidwell's fate, but the legacy of Sonny and Selena in the eyes of their community. What lies ahead? A new era for Port Charles underworld. As we look toward the horizon of General Hospital's unfolding saga, the impending clash between Selena, Sonny, and Sidwell promises to redefine the criminal landscape of Port Charles. Will Selena's return mark a new era of cooperation between her faction and Sonny's, forging an alliance strong enough to deter future threats? Or will Sidwell's downfall reveal even deadlier players waiting in the wings, ready to exploit any power vacuum left behind? The Piers, the Esplanade Project, and the undercurrents of international crime loom as potential flashpoints for future conflicts, ensuring the drama never fades. Moreover, how will the personal toll of this war affect our favorite characters? Picture Sonny reflecting late at night, burdened by the cost of protecting his family, while Selena grapples with whether her thirst for revenge aligns with her long-term vision for her empire. The stakes are personal as much as they are territorial, and every decision carries weight. So, dear viewers, where do you stand? Are you Team Sonny and Selena, rooting for their triumph over Sidwell, or do you anticipate an unexpected twist that changes everything? Share your predictions in the comments below, and keep tuning into ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel for the latest updates on this electrifying storyline.